On September 23 of this year, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released a new study showing that among 21 major cities, 19% of men who have sex with men are living with HIV, and 44% of those men do not even know they have the virus. Returning to our studio is Director of Development of the Asian and Pacific Islander Wellness Center, Saurabh Bajaj. Saurabh, thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for having me, Raymond.
The numbers behind the study are rather surprising. I mean, the top 4 cities, we have Baltimore, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Philadelphia, Detroit. Over 70% of the men in these cities don't even know that they have HIV. So what do these numbers tell us?
I think it shows that the communities of color are still bearing the brunt of HIV. Most of the cities you named have high Black, Latino populations. And those are the two of the populations that have the highest rates of HIV in their communities. While Asians and Pacific Islanders, we have the highest increases of HIV in our communities. So, although the level of HIV in the among white men who have sex with men has kind of leveled out, we're still seeing pretty big increases among minority communities.
Well, fortunately for San Francisco, it's on the bottom too. It's only like 19% of men are unaware that they have HIV. I guess educational efforts in San Francisco are better than elsewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, although there's still people being affected though. So I mean, until it drops to zero, we still have work to do even in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. What about the ethnic breakdown?
Yeah, it was eye-opening for us. Among Asians, 8% of men who have sex with men are HIV positive, and among Pacific Islanders, it's 18% of men who have sex with men are positive. So we're still seeing, again, growing rates. Asian and Pacific Islanders are the only ones who have increased rates of HIV.
So why the high numbers for Asians? Is it stigma or what?
Definitely stigma is still a huge part of our communities. I mean, when's the last time that you heard a group of API or when you were maybe with your friends talked about HIV and the need to get tested? I know with my community and my friends, we often don't discuss it, or I can't remember the last time I asked my closest friend, when did you get tested? And we have this idea of saving face. One of our campaigns this past year, saving face can't keep you safe. So the idea is that, if we don't talk about it with each other, if we don't approach each other about being safe, about are you getting tested, are you being safe with your partners, that, break the silence and people keep continuing to not use condoms or just to not think they're a risk for HIV.
Can you talk a little about the background of saving face for people who are not aware of this?
Oh, sure. So saving face is a concept that's pretty familiar to many API cultures. And it's about not wanting to embarrass yourself or to bring shame upon yourself or your family. And so the idea is that even by discussing HIV, you might be bringing shame upon yourself or again your family or your community.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that you've gotten some of these numbers back from the CDC, what does the Asian and Pacific Islander Wellness Center tend to do about it?
Well, I think it just makes us aware that we have to keep doing our prevention efforts, that we can't ever rest on our laurels. There's still a lot of work to be done out there. And I think it also shows that there's a need for continued data and collection of data. We feel that the 8% and 18% among Asians and Pacific Islanders is probably underreported. And our communities were very small segments of the population that they did the data collection with. Even though in San Francisco, we're a third of the population, many times we are ignored when it comes to doing data collection and showing the numbers. They will be aggregated with another community. So it's important to keep advocating for our communities at the federal level too, to ask for funds to do data collection.
Oh, and not only is HIV high in the Asian community, but there's also hepatitis B as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah. Hepatitis B is passed very similarly to HIV, and just a lot of Asians and Pacific Islanders have that in their home country. Is that hepatitis is a huge problem. So and I think this is 1 in 10 of Asians has hepatitis. So we do screenings as well for that. And one of the interesting things is that for hepatitis, there's less stigma to get screened for hepatitis. What's nice is that people will come in for hepatitis testing, and we can also then test them for HIV too. So it's an easy way to get people who might be otherwise afraid to talk about HIV or get tested.
Good. Well, Saurabh Bajaj, thanks again for joining us. And for more information, point your web browsers to apiwellness.org. And you're watching Outlook Video.
Asians and Pacific Islanders are strong, diverse, and powerful.
But when it comes to talking about sex and HIV, we shut up and stay silent.
HIV isn't someone else's problem, it's ours.
1 in 3 Asians and Pacific Islanders living with HIV
don't even know it.
Saving face can't make you safe.
Talk about it.
For me,
for you, for everyone.